Howdy, here are some pretty good paladin auras. I'll be going through paladin abilities. These all have custom icons. If you would like to use the default icons, select display with the group selected and then go to icon source and change it to automatic, and then it will revert to all default abilities. We'll also be going over a cast bar, holy power counter, raid buffs, personal buffs, debuffs, fluffy dice, a Blessing of Dawn counter made by Guffin, thank you very much, health potion, healthstone, and utility potion tracker, main rotation, ready flash, and an alignment grid. The fluffy dice is there for fun. It also shows on holy if you're in combat or not. When you're in combat it goes away. This lets you know when you can drink or resurrect. The abilities, they show here a buff timer, but they do not show a cooldown timer. This is so that there's less numbers spinning over here. The caveat to that is when it's just about to come off cooldown, or if you use a Blessing of the Season buff. The reason this doesn't have a timer is because it's up for 30 seconds and it's down for 15, so you just have this ticking away all the time. So it just has no timer. Now that it's off the global cooldown, it's pretty easy. When an ability comes back off cooldown, it will flash briefly in the center of your screen for 1/10 of a second. This is just to let you know that it's back. All the major abilities are covered here. For cast bar, it's a different colored cast for different spells. Red is Flash of Light. Yellow is Holy Light. Then you have Hand of Divinity. What else we got? Tears, Deliverance. This buff is also a bit different because it has the tracker for Boundless Salvation. So every time you use an ability that adds Boundless Salvation, that will add up to a maximum of 40 to let you know if you increase the time enough. Holy Power in the center changes color, counts out 1 to 5. Will also show Divine Purpose in red. If you are Herald of the Sun, it will also show your Dawnlight stacks. This is Infusion of Light. This is showing that I have 2 available. So it will tick down to 1 when I use one, tick down to 0 if I get a crit, then they come back up. The purple diamond is Awakening. So this will stack up as I get stacks of Awakening, and it will turn into a crystal at the end. The gold counter here is Blessing of Dawn progression. So at 1 point of progression it will be bronze, 2 points silver, then it goes to gold to show you that you have a stack. Same again, goes up to diamond when you have 2 stacks, and then that can go 2 stacks with 2 points of progression. The abilities in the center are Crusader Strike in green, Judgment, Holy Shock, and Concentration. The blue proc is Herald of the Sun, Blessing of Anshi, which will make your Holy Shock do 200% more healing. I believe it's damage as well. Damage or healing. So it's just letting you know that it's up and ready to go. The dark blue are Hammer of Wrath procs. The cooldown for that will go over the top of Consecration rather, because Consecration is not as important as Hammer of Wrath, especially for Holy. The reason that this is purple is because I have Imperium Legacy. It goes back to red when Imperium Legacy is not available. The white and black bars that you see are the cooldown, so when this black bar gets to 0, then Imperium Legacy will be ready to cast again, and this will change from red to purple. If you leave Imperium Legacy up, you'll see the buff bar come in here, and that's to let you know how long is left on the buff. I'll just get Awakening to show you what it looks like. Rising Sunlight is another proc that you can get from using wings. This is showing that your next Holy Shock will give you 3. And the color of the cooldown is changed. If you have 1 proc but 2 charges, it will show that on the UI. So this is showing that you have Awakening ready to be used. If you keep getting stacks after the fact, then they will start counting up over the top of it. So this can be useful. And then you consume it and you still have this counter towards your next stack of Awakening. I think that's about it for Holy. We'll have a look at Retribution. Retribution. Where did I put that over? There it is. So Retribution, very similar. We have Crusader Strike, Judgment, and instead of Holy Shock you have Blade of Justice. The proc here now is for Judge, Jury, and Executioner. The diamond is for Divine Arbiter. If you have Templar Slash equipped, it will glow when you have the alternate version ready to be used. If you are a Templar and you use Wake of Ashes, it will show you how long you have to use the Hammer of Light. Then it will change to a Strike the Heavens buff to let you know how long is left on that ability. The fluffy dice now become a counter for Light's Deliverance. So there's about 60 icons on here and they'll each populate as you get closer to 60. This is letting you know that you have Divine Arbiter ready to use. What else? That's about it for Ret. The only tricky thing is Divine Hammer. There's no good way that I'm aware of to track the duration of this buff. So it just shows a buff for 12 seconds regardless of how long you have it up for. So I still actually have the buff up, but it's only showing that for 12 seconds. I don't have a good solution for that, unfortunately. So that is pretty much it. Same Imperium Legacy if you have it talented. Oh, also if you have, what's it called? Divine Resonance. You get this extra counter here. So when that reaches 0, your Divine Resonance Judgment will be in effect. There it goes. And Protection. Combat. Let's go. Okay, this is a Lightsmith. The same thing applies for Templar version. Trick with right is Alt V. That's Control V. Is it not? Oh, well, Blizzard wants you to click it apparently. When you cast this spell, you can run around. Just so you know. So for Lightsmith, it has Holy Bulwark here. If you cast that on yourself, it doesn't show the usual buff. The reason for this is that if you cast your Wrath, then it will put Sacred Weapon on you. So it shows you if the buff is already on you. So this is a little bit different from the way it normally displays buff. This is so that you do not cancel out your buff by overriding it with one that you already have. If you have no cooldown, then it will show the usual cooldown as other buffs do. So for Prot, this is Shining Light procs over here. It has a similar counting to the Blessing of Dawn. So right now there's 2 procs, there's 1. The purple here is for Avenger's Shield. That's because you have the 10% chance to block buff up. Normally it would be orange, but when you have that buff available, it changes to purple. If you use Bastion of Light, then it will change the color of the judgments to the same as Rising Sunlight to let you know that you're going to get extra holy power when you use them. If it is blue, then it is 3 or more stacks. When it is purple, it is 2. So you should see both here being purple. And then if you go to 1 available, it will show 1 as red. If it's about to run out, then it changes to red and then black. The white bar is Bastion of Light about to finish. The same is true for Shining Light. If it is going to run out, it first turns red and then it turns black at 10 and 3 seconds. The diamond tracks your 4-set bonus, which is Rising Wrath. This is a 15-second duration buff. At 10 seconds, it will change color to gray, and then at 3 seconds, it will change color to a ashy color. You also have the stack count on top of your Wrath. When it gets to 25 stacks, then it will change to the diamond, and it will just sit there until you use it. This is about what you would get in a 2-minute period. The blue buff here is Shield of the Righteous. Consecrate is next to it. If you are out of Consecrate while it is on the ground, it will change to red to let you know that you are not standing in your consecration and you don't have the buff. If you see this happen where the border is there, the border is there when you have the buff, and the picture is there when you have the totem down. So consecration, if you check out the buff up here, changing from the aura to the buff, when the consecration disappears, you can still get consecration by going in and out of it. So the weak aura is not bugged, it is consecration that is doing this. What else have we got? Moment of Glory as usual. I think that's about it for Prot. I didn't show, if you use a debuff, it will come up as green. Buffs come up as purple or pink. Anything else with Prot? I think that's about it. The specs at the moment are just to get all of the buttons showing. And what have I missed? Ready Flash. Ready Flash has the same custom icons, so you change them the same way by changing them to automatic in display icon. And I think that's about everything. Oh, potions. So the potions down the bottom, I'll just lose some health. So the red one is a health potion, the blue one is a utility potion. When you use it, it goes on cooldown. The one in the center is for a health stone when you have one. And I'll just use a pot. Cheers. There we go. So the pot shows the buff when it is up, and then it will change to the regular cooldown once that is finished in 20 odd seconds. For 4 minutes, the triangle goes to the side. Then it will change to the color of the, so for instance, red on the left or blue on the right. In the last 1 minute, it will track back towards the center until it is off cooldown. Debuffs. So for the debuffs, they populate up this way. Forbearance is yellow, the rest are red unless they have a debuff type, such as magic, poison, disease, curse. Then there will be the color respective of those. If they have stacks, then it will show an animation increasing based on how many stacks are on the debuff. There are a couple ones that are blacklisted, such as Herald of the Sun's Martyr, which is up at all times, or pretty much up at all times. So there's a few blacklisted if you're wondering what happened to those, but not very many. And that's everything. All good. Thank you very much. If you want to get your hands on these, boy, docs myself. And where is it? Sheets. Whoop. So this will be in the description. You just copy the WeakAura from the left-hand side. I also have my Plater, Voodoo, and Elf UI if you're into that kind of thing. And that should keep you pretty good. Thank you. Have a good one.